Hey, what's happening, guys? So just wanted to share a little bit of something I'm going through right now with not CrossFit, but Jiu-Jitsu. So recently I had a major injury with Jiu-Jitsu. I dislocated my pinky. It's kind of taken away from my ability to really do it. I've been doing some skill work, not showing up as often as I was, and I really like Jiu-Jitsu. I've been doing it for about a year and a half. It's really new to me, and if you guys have heard a little bit about my journey with this thing, it's pretty short, but I never did it before, obviously, and everything's brand new, so it's cool, but the struggle of beginner's there for me, and now I'm at about this year and a half mark, 2 years, so I'm kind of learning some things. I know a little bit about it, and I had this little setback where I haven't really been showing up very often, and now that I'm back, noticing that the group of people that I started with or around the same period of time, where, if you don't know Jiu-Jitsu, it's kind of wrestling, grappling. Well, anyway, all these guys that I was training with, I'd beat them sometimes, they'd beat me sometimes, and I kind of knew where I was in that pecking order. This layoff now, I'm going back, and then these guys that I was generally kind of beating on the not the workouts, it's called rolling, where I was kind of beating them or kind of knew where I was, like with these guys, they're ahead of me now. Some of them are putting a lot more work in than me, and have been for a while, and other of them just the same as I was, but now I have a month on me, and I feel like, man, I'm like demotivated a little bit to go there and get beat by these guys that I was kind of hanging with a little bit, and now I'm a few steps behind and a little tepid with this injury that I have right now. It's it's right here. This guy, if you haven't seen it in the gym, it hurts, and I'm a little kind of cautious with it. So I know what it's like to struggle, especially if you've reached a certain level in your mind or in reality, right? And then have to take a step back for whatever reason. Either you became inconsistent with your training, or you have an injury, whatever it might be. Life gets in the way, you don't train as often. The solution to this, and I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you guys, is that you just got to get back to it, man. You just got to get back to it. Yes, as we train CrossFit, or in my case, Jiu-Jitsu, there's a social aspect to it, and we compare ourselves to others. It's just normal. We're social by nature, obviously, right? No big psychology stuff going on here. So it's natural to compare ourselves to others. No big deal. But think about why you're doing it. That's number one, right? And that's important. I say it a lot. It's not to beat a dead horse, but to know why you're doing what you're doing. For me with Jiu-Jitsu, it was something fun, to learn a new skill. A little bit of like self-defense stuff is cool. But that's why I'm there. So it doesn't matter really that much if I'm getting beat by guys that I wasn't getting beat by before, or I'm beating somebody else who I wasn't beating before. It doesn't really matter, although you get that little dopamine hit when you do well, right? Same thing with CrossFit. You get that little dopamine hit when your training partner, who you've been training with for a long time, you beat them in a workout, right? It's not why we're here doing CrossFit, but it's cool. You feel good about it, right? You beat them in a workout, and then they beat you in a workout. There's a little competition there, and they're around your same ability, and then they pull ahead for whatever reason. Maybe they're putting more work in. Maybe they're following a better nutrition plan. They're more consistent, or maybe it's something that happened to you, like what happened with me in Jiu-Jitsu. You had a little injury or something like that. The remedy's always the same. Get consistent again. Get back on the horse. Create those habits. The solution's always the same, but it depends what angle you're coming at it from right now, of how your mindset has to be. And I always like to pull back to my why. What am I doing this for? And then think about maybe the reasons I'm feeling the way I am. Recently, like I said, with Jiu-Jitsu, all the stuff I just said. But if this is for you, and you've fallen off a little bit, your peers that you started with, or that you were in like the same kind of ability levels with, or pulling ahead of you a little bit, don't worry about it too much. I know it's easier said than done, but pull back to the reasons why you're doing it, and then get back to it and go beat them in a workout in a month or two. If that's what's going to really motivate you, that's cool. I had that rivalry in CrossFit with a couple friends of mine too. And certainly for me, I'm back to Jiu-Jitsu this week, getting after it, not really worrying too much about getting beat, although it's never fun to feel that feeling. Not a huge deal. Anyway, guys, hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. See you for the Open this week.